Hey, and welcome to the One Page One Shot and occasionally Daggerheart mini campaigns club. And I'm Jim, that's Brad, that's Ryan, that's Mike. And let me read us in to what we've got going on here because we're playing Daggerheart, and this is our introduction.
So stoked.
Braille is a lush and compact forest oasis, close to the lake, nestled in the trees, and only a couple days' ride from the big city. It's a launching hub to the southern frontier. And at this high inland altitude, it's away from the worst of the sea poison. And now you three have arrived here in town midday for your own reasons. A low stone wall surrounds this modest hamlet with the front gate wide open. Through that welcoming arch, you see laborers repairing a broken section of cobblestone street, smell fresh loaves of bread being carried home from the market, and hear the whirring of mechanized quad cycles with shiny cogwheels zipping around pedestrians. Let's please introduce your characters, and when you do, tell us, 1, if you've been to Braille before, and 2, tell us your character's idea of comfort food. Let's start over here with Mr. Wolf.
I'm Damon Vidrine. Dashingly handsome set of clothing. Eyes like the bright morning sky. Body that's young and lithe. With the skin color of dark sand on a warm day. Attitude like a disarming bobcat. I know I look pretty, but yes, mon ami, I do bite.
So, have you been to Braille before, and your idea of comfort food?
This is my first time in this here town. Comfort food. You got to go with a good gumbo. I think that's always stick to your ribs kind of good.
Ryan?
I am Bantan. I am a simia, so I am a monkey person. I look like a marmoset, only I'm short for a human, but I am very tall for a marmoset. And my deep research into marmosets has taught me that they really enjoy tree gums. So I'm going to say maple syrup is going to be my comfort food of choice for sure. Been to Braille once or twice. Not a big fan of most towns in general.
My character's name is Belfry. He's about a 5-foot tall Galapa, which is a turtle person. But there's something a little off about him. When he walks around, there's creaks and grinds. It's hard to tell if it's old bones or if you look a little bit closer, something more. You notice that his close companions would know that he's been slowly kind of grown over with tree bark, parts of him turning to stone due to something he carries with him. He has very simple, kind of like leathery, padded armor built from various animals that have been hunted. As well as like a small kind of like cloak just to kind of hide his appearance a little bit, because there have been people that have inquired about his state, and he gets kind of not so much social anxiety, but more so just worry for the thing that he carries with him, that people would try to use it for nefarious reasons. So he tries to keep something very secret and safe with him. He holds this large, the one in his hand currently is like a kind of shorter staff. It's kind of gnarled, twisted wood, curved, with a little bell about the size of like a small watermelon hanging from the end of it, as well as a kind of like, again, more wood focused, like petrified wood, short round shield that's kind of looks like it could be just part of his arm because his arm is somewhat massive. On his back is another staff that seems similar to his own, but it looks kind of archaic and almost a little dusty, like it's just something he brings along. Has he been to Braille? Absolutely not. This is a person that he's very localized he does not get out. This is, in fact, probably one of his first actual journeys going this far. So when he sees Braille for the first time, he would probably look to his companions with him and just like, my God, this is the capital, right? Just enamored by the size of this. As far as comfort food goes, back home, he would usually chew on like little roots that have a kind of like more herbal taste to it. Kind of like anise flavor roots that would go from like certain plants and stuff like that. Or just kind of like snacking on dandelions or other flora. He's not a huge meat eater. He'll have some like, sometimes Damien wants some crawdads. All right, he's down, But besides that, like he doesn't go out and hunt meat normally. He's more so whenever he needs to, he'll get the resources he needs. But as far as comfort food goes, at the moment, plants, but he smells bread for the first time in this town, and he's like, what is that? I need some of that. So he's still learning what his comfort food actually is.
The smell of bread leads you into town. Okay, so a couple clerical things. Normally, the Daggerheart allows me to collect fear. I start with 2 fear at the beginning of a campaign, and I'm allowed to collect up to 12 fear. I think because there's only 3 of you, I think it feels more fair to cap that at 9. If we were playing at a table, you would be able to see my fear on the table, my stockpile of it. So I can't do that here, but I will tell you how many fear I have at any time. So you'll be able to know when I am getting full. Oh, and as you enter the town, you see that there's a pretty good mix of people here, even though it's a relatively small town. There's only maybe 100, 150. Bonton, you're the party's expert on Braille. You see most of the common folk wear very simple kinds of clothing, very working class kinds of clothing. But then you do see some well-to-do people who are basically full-on Gary Oldman and Dracula. You see, some top hats, some pocket watches, some little round sunglasses. And that's sort of the style. And as you enter the town of Braille, what would you all like to do?
I should probably also mention, just for anyone watching, mechanically, my character is because you can hybrid race. So I was like, that's fun. I'm a Galapa / Clank, and I flavored it with wood and stone instead of metal. Just so people know. What I want to do is I look at the 2 guys and I'm just like, you all know this kind of stuff more than I do, but whatever that smell is, I need some of that.
Oh, that'd be bread.
Bread.
It's delicious, but I warn you, you eat too much, your soup buttons aren't going to fit right.
Oh, things swell and grow when they're nourished properly and become anew, more powerful than before. I've heard of something like, I don't know, that smells delicious. I need some of that now.
Yeah, I'm a mite hungry. We've been on the road for a while now.
Best part about coming to town is the food.
I will look straight at Bonton, though. Like, my mouth is a little watering, and I'll just be like, but I know I want to follow your lead. I believe you to be one of the more experienced people I've ever met before in terms of the wilds and also just towns in general and just figuring out where to go.
So the important thing is that you hand them money, and then they give you the food. Otherwise,
that's the metal stuff that you gave me.
Yes, otherwise people can be very upset at you.
All right.
So you can take it if they can't see.
And I'll take out a handful of my gold, which is all I have. And I'm just like, so this many for one of the bread.
You know what? Let me hold on to that for you.
Okay.
I will.
I take off my handful of gold and I give it to Banton.
As you make your way into town and start to mix in with the pedestrians, that scent of bread is definitely coming from the market, which you see at midday is in full swing. and there are people going to and fro. And as you start to approach the market, you can definitely see there's a handful of vendors who look up and catch the scent of adventurer on you. And a couple of them start to approach. One approaches holding strings of necklaces in one hand and 4 or 5 rings on each finger on the other. Jewelry. We have all kinds from far away. From Red Cliff. Ooh, Red Cliff. You've heard of Red Cliff? All the way out there. Jewelry. Another merchant comes up to you. Spices. Opens up a jacket. Spices. I have Eastern spices. I have Western spices.
Do any of them smell like bread?
The bread smell is definitely coming from a little further beyond.
I politely nod, just like, not right now. We're on an important mission. As I turn towards where the bread smell is.
Red Cliff is our next stop. I'm sure we'll be able to get some fine jewelry from the source. But thank you, sir.
Oh, well, we'll be here all day. And as you begin to make your way, now you can see a bread stall. You can see you can see steam coming up, and you can see loaves of bread stacked up on shelves and a line probably 20 deep this is the place for bread. And as you begin to make your way over there, then first what appears to be a simple farmer holding a chicken under one arm begins to approach you, and he says, eggs? Fresh eggs? Fresh eggs? I could, right now, you tell me how many you want, I can make it happen. Fresh eggs? And then, he stumbles, the chicken goes, scratches him, dashes down the street, and he goes, oh my God, my chicken! Please help me! Help me get the chicken, I'll give you the eggs for free, please!
I specifically can talk with animals with my nature's tongue ability. I'll basically, like, in that moment, seeing the struggle of the animal, just being like, no, chicken, everything's fine. We weren't going to hurt you or eat you. Also, we can get you some bread if you just calm down a little bit. Do you smell that out there? It's amazing.
All right, here is what we're going to do. We are going to have a chase.
Cool.
The party, you are going to have a countdown timer, a progress countdown timer starting at 6, and the chicken has a little bit of a head start. The chicken's consequence countdown timer is starting at 5. You are in an open air market. There are stalls all around you. Some of the stalls have, tents above them. There are buildings within 40, 50 feet in all directions. Open air market, cobblestone streets, a chicken trying to frantically get away from you, the owner begging you for help. And Belfry, it sounds like you are the first up. Tell me again what you want to do, and then we can roll for it.
Oh yeah, so I I don't know how it would look in the world. It's so my domain card is Nature's Tongue, where I can speak the language of the natural world. It says all it says. So I don't know how you would decipher that, as if it's just like the sound of wind or like trees rustling, or if I straight up just go.
You tell me.
Okay, yeah, I think that it sounds funnier, good TV, if I start with, I just have this very calm look in my eyes. I'm just like, don't worry, we'll get it back for you. And just like start doing that towards the chicken in their language.
Make a spellcast roll. You're
sure.
12.
That is a 2 11 with fear, because a 2 is more or less.
It's your spellcast trait though, so you would add a plus to that.
Oh, my bad. So plus 2 on that. So 13.
Okay, that is a success with fear, which means both countdown timers tick down. So you the chicken briefly turns and looks back at you, and then shakes its head and continues to dash off. Who's up next?
Dayman's going to use his minor illusion ability to create the image of a bobcat right in front of the chicken. Try to scare it, come back towards us.
The difficulty for this scenario is a 12.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is
7.
Probably like a 9 with your spellcast trait added, right?
Right. Yep.
So that was a failure with fear.
Yeah.
Oh
not
no.
good.
As you conjure the illusion, instead of distracting, you try to target it directly at the chicken, but instead you target the illusion at a horse who's nearby. The horse kicks the corner of a stall, and the stall collapses. Watermelons going out in the street. The chicken definitely climbs over the watermelons, but there's a big pool of half-split, gushy watermelons in the street in your path. And so the chicken is, almost getting away. The chicken is down to a 1 on their timer. So
No.
who's next?
I reach for my longbow. I'm going to scurry up the market stalls and jump roof to roof because I am a natural climber, and I'm also going to avoid the mess you all have made. So advantage is a D6, correct?
What are you trying to do?
Climbing and giving chase to this chicken from the skies.
So that looked like, I didn't get a chance to add all that up before it went away.
It is a 10. It is a 10 with fear.
Okay. So that is, I'm afraid, another failure with fear. As you climb up, prepared to do something to grab the chicken, there ducks into an alley and disappears. And the farmer goes, Thanks for trying, guys. That was.
Oh,
I guess.
sorry, my man. Here's a coin. Buy yourself an ale for your sorrows.
Oh, that's kind of you. Thank you.
If it's any consolation, the wilds will maybe take care of them. It's kind of an unpredictable place, but animals usually don't do too well, as far as I know, in cities. So maybe that's just where they're meant to be and where fate drew them to. And maybe fate will give you another opportunity with said ale.
Well, thank you for your kind words, turtle friend.
I lean over to the turtle. Like, my experience, chickens don't do well just about anywhere. No matter where a chicken goes, it gets eaten.
Oh, right. I forgot that people eat them. That might not be... bread?
And the farmer picks up a hunk of watermelon off the street and walks off. And the bread line is starting to thin out. There's some people got freaked out by the chicken massacre in the street, the watermelon chicken gate, and took off. So there's only a few people in line now.
Cool.
I land next to Belfry from having climbed up on the market stalls.
So agile.
This is a line. It's a primitive solution to distributing food. We stand here and we wait.
Usually we just have a circle and everyone can just take from the center giving pot. But I will wait in said line.
So much better.
Yeah, we call that family style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family style, yes. One thing I will ask, by the way, is it Banton or Ban first name Tan?
Bantan.
Okay, Bantan. And second, also, before I get too ahead of myself, would Banton and Damien, I would say they know that I don't know the rarities of magic and stuff in this world, really, and how things really work politically, but would druidic magic be known and accepted? Is like turning into animals looked at like, oh my god, what the hell just happened? Or is it like, oh, okay, they're just a druid?
I'm also sage. We have... That's okay. If I want. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm cool with it.
Depends. You might not want to do it in front of a cop.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But, it sort of depends. In small towns, people might not care, or they may have never seen somebody turn into a squirrel before. You never really know.
Good to know.
In big cities, you're just going to get judged for doing it.
So yeah, I wait in the line, hands crossed, just waiting with Bantan.
It is best if you don't tell everybody that you talk to chickens for a lot of reasons, actually. Maybe keep that to yourself.
But I believe it could be really helpful if I can save more chickens from running away into. Honestly, I forgot that chickens are a primary source of protein and food for a lot of different species of animals. So I didn't want to let that farmer get sad, but I think that it's got like maybe a day or two max.
A cat has already eaten that or something. But it was good what you tried to do.
I'm learning to do the lying thing. Eventually I'll perfect it.
Also, we're 0 for 1 on chicken rescue, so maybe that's not our strong suit.
The world has a balance. There's going to be another chicken in the future that we can save just fine.
Mm-hmm. So those are called croissants.
That's amazing. Gimme.
You step up to the front of the line. It's now your turn. There is a bevy of baked goods in front of you. You could have your selection. And the person behind the counter in the little white hat says, "Hey, is your first time dining with us? Because we do things a little differently here."
Yeah.
How so?
We make fine artisanal bakery products.
Artisanal.
Mm-hmm.
You have some coffee to go with that?
Sure. Can I ask where your accent? Where are you from?
Well, I'm from the coast down south.
Really? You should go stop by Millie's General. You feel right at home.
Oh, well, thank you. I have to check that out.
Fantastic. Easy roads. So you get your goods. Anything else?
I'll take a coffee.
Okay.
Two will have a coffee, and two of. I look at Banton because I'm still confused about the currency value exchange of things. Two of those, three of and I'm still like I'm questioning like if 3 is good enough croissants and money exchange wise.
So I don't really understand this part, but if we get 13, there's a discount.
Discounts are good. You get more.
They say it's 12, and they give you an extra one.
That's a no-brainer.
Oh, baker's dozen, they call that. Yep.
We'd be foolish not to do it.
I mean, if you're going to eat that many.
Yes, you can get your coffees and your baked goods. We don't need to actually exchange currency for that. If anything is walking around money, we're just going to hand wave that.
And just to make sure, Ryan, you did mark another handful of gold on your sheet, right? Okay, good. Just making sure. I was not joking about that.
I am happy. I have 2 handfuls.
Yeah.
Also, handful is my new favorite unit of measure.
If anyone rolled with hope during that,
I don't think any of us did.
Nope.
No, we all rolled with fear.
Strong start.
That was.
I did
So,
like
hey,
the nice. I'm starting to get a nice pool of fear over here, though. So thanks.
I'm gonna take you up on that checking in thing. How much fear did we generate in that stupid transaction?
I'm currently at 5.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
5 fear from a damn chicken.
Well, I start the campaign with 2, just like you guys start with 2 hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so the town is open to you. Where would you like to go? Bonton, if you've been here before, you know some prime spots. The prime drinking and staying spot would be the Stoned Barkeep. There's also a hostel up here, which is a terrible place to stay, but it's dirt cheap. And you've got the shrines.
Belfry would let the others who know. I do want to go to if he would talk about Millie's General, or if we heard that conversation between him and the baker. I would feel like, yeah, absolutely. I would just let them know that before too long, or absolutely before we go, Belfry's main things he wants to do here is go to the Fiend's Tail River at like one of the ends, just to kind of like take a look, get a sample of something. And then also, if we can see in the distance, seeing that armor of the city hall, he definitely wants to take a peek at that too, eventually.
Yeah. It's just over the bridge. It's just about 100 feet away from where you are. This town's pretty small.
But I'm following your leads. I don't want to get lost in this jungle of a place.
I mean, if you like, you guys can split up and we can go in turns to do stuff, or you could stay together. What would you like to do?
Splitting up for Belfry sounds like a bad idea in a town.
Well, Damon will split up and just go procure a place for us to stay for the night because he wants to change out of once he sees some few folks walking around in their fine clothes. He's eager to change out of his dusty black traveling clothes and put on one of his nice suits. So, so he'll find us a place, not the hostel. There's got to be somewhere better than that. I hope.
Well, your other main option would be the stoned barkeep and inn. Okay. Over on the east side of town. Yeah, and as you approach the stoned barkeep, it's one of the tallest buildings in town, and it's got the swinging doors. As you walk in, you see, true to the name, standing behind the bar, there's a statue of a person with one hand on the bar, the other hand up like this, eyes open like that, frozen. And there's a bartender next to that who's kind of like working around the statue to serve drinks to people. And you see stairs going up to what you presume would be an inn. And you can absolutely procure a room there.
So the name of this establishment is a mite on the nose, don't you think?
The barkeeper sets down a drink and starts wiping beer off his hands, and he says, "Yeah, I didn't come up with a name, bud. Do you need a drink? You need a room? What can I do for you?"
I just finished my coffee. It's a little early for a drink. I do want to procure 2 rooms for my friends and I.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're a little early for the lumberjack competition. You're still a few days away from that, but what I'm saying is you're lucky now, because if you're getting a room through the weekend, this would be the time, because they're all going to be gone by Thursday.
Well, sounds good. I'll take 2. What's the room with the best view? I'll take that room, and then whatever else you got.
Well, I guess you got probably the north-facing ones overlooking the Fiendstale. It's probably your best bet, yeah.
Oh, that sounds nice.
He slides 2 keys across the desk, or across the bar to you.
And then I just kind of look around the place. Obviously, some people are drinking already, so...
yeah, there's a few.
Do I surmise anyone interesting?
You can make what we call an instinct roll.
So that's a 16 on the dice, and then
You add your instinct.
So it's an 18 total, but with fear. No,
18.
Right, yeah, because we're doing left is
hope.
Hope, yeah. So
I will take that fear. Thank you very much. So as you're kind of walking around nonchalantly, listening to people have their lunchtime conversations as they drink their beer and eat their pub food, you overhear one thing that's kind of interesting that does make your ears prick up because of the name mentioned. You hear that there was some kind of hubbub going on recently in Sanguine Sands. And that name sticks out because you know that Mirabelle Thornwood lives in Sanguine Sands. And these people were just sort of mumbling about how they don't exactly know what happened, but there was some kind of hubbub. The mayor was upset. A bunch of people were in town very quickly, and then they all left, which is unusual because Sanguine Sands is teeny tiny and people don't really visit there. Spooky town because of the blood mud.
I'm going to stop and say, well, I couldn't help but over here. Did you mention Sanguine Sands?
Yeah. My brother and I were just talking about, there was just this traveler who came through a couple days ago, said there was like a big to-do. I don't even know what you'd call it, like down there where they were like the town swelled and the mayor was mad. I don't even really know.
Did you say the town swelled?
Like, I don't mean like literally, not like a demon, but like there were just like a bunch of people there, and then they all left. I don't know what it was. It's not the kind of place where people go, visit.
Actually, that's where I'm headed next from here. So if there was trouble about it, I'd like a good heads up. You know who I could ask about that?
Well, if it's to do with the mayor in Sanguine Sands, you could maybe talk to Qantas.
Qantas.
If you can, the mayor of Braille, Qantas Braille, the mayor of Braille.
I understand you now.
He has a good relationship with the mayor of Sanguine Sands, from what I understand. But I mean, Qantas is Qantas. Good luck getting some of his time,
Oh, I'm a mite resourceful. I imagine I could figure something out.
Look at you. All right. Well, easy roads then, stranger.
Well, thanks. Easy roads to you. Apparently, that's the thing to say around these parts.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You're really not from here. Okay. All right,
And
we're going
then-
to go back to our sandwiches now.
And I turn and I go up to my room and I change out of my black traveling clothes and put on my stark white suit with the fine black embroidery, that kind of shows off the style of the city that I'm from. What's the name of that city?
Marsul, Marsul.
Marsul, yeah.
Belfry and Bonton, while Damien is checking in and getting cleaned up, what are you two doing?
I'll lead Belfry over the bridge if he wants to see City Hall.
Cool.
Point out the jail. It's like, don't go there. Don't go there. I'll point to the No Adventurers Tavern.
Yeah. Belfry is kind of having that like tourist feel of like he's never been to many. He's been to like small, tiny villages before with like a couple houses or a farm or something like that, but never like a city. He's always just been in his grove. So he has that tourist vibe to him, and he's like kind of grabbing like random knickknacks. And I feel like he decided that in the moment to make him seem more like, the populace, he found and bought and wore a straw hat of some kind. So he's walking around with a little straw hat, a little fancy for him. But yeah, he's walking around following Banton, and he's just like, oh yeah, that doesn't sound very inviting at all. Also, this stuff, are we sure that this isn't just a cup of poisoned sea? It tastes like dirt and death mixed together, but for some reason I can't stop drinking it. And he's like, his eyes are like slowly getting bigger, and like he's like walking faster. He keeps complaining about the taste, but he's still drinking it. He's like, oh, so at one point can we go and see the Fiend's Tail real fast? Oh, City Hall. That one's for that one's first. Look at that thing. Wow. And he'll try to like, and it's just a huge piece of armor with like runes on it, right? Of like
So as you cross over the bridge over the Fiend's Tail to the northern part of town, the City Hall, there's a giant like piece of a breastplate that's probably 20 feet tall, maybe 60 feet across. And then built up underneath it are basically a series of thatch huts, kind of made out of clay with windows built into them. Everything it's very nice, but you see it's like a structure built up under it, and a large door at the front. And it feels sort of like you're walking into a like a national park visitor center. Mm-hmm. Because there's like displays on the walls about the topography of Ebondale Forest. The water plains of the Valley of the Dead Gods, and then in the middle of the room where you walk in, you see there's like side offices and stuff, hallways leading off to official government things, you presume. But then in the middle of the room when you walk in is this massive circular display, I guess you'd say. It's probably about 5 feet tall, and then on the inside there's like a sculpture of all of Tiradan, sort of like a national park map you see, and there's markers for the big city states. And then you see there's a woman standing nearby, sort of smiling, waiting for somebody to ask her a question.
I look at Banton and just like, is this another exchange? We need, I don't know if we just have to give money whenever we ask questions or do stuff, or if it's for goods specifically.
It's mostly for hats and bitter bean water.
Oh, I was supposed to pay. Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind for next. Yo, thank you. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yes, I don't think tipping is customary here if you go ask her a question, but it's my best advice to you is to read the plaque. Context is always important. Read the plaque and then ask the question so you don't look like a yokel with a straw hat
a motorcycle goes by.
Who just rode in on a motorcycle on a quad bike.
Welcome to the tour. I'd love to go and read the plaque and information first before advancing into asking someone about questions that might be too vague.
So you want to look at the plaque like in front of the giant Pterodon display in the middle.
Yeah, and I would specifically also be curious about, because you said there was something, I didn't quite catch it, like it was a mural or something, like where it showed something about the Valley of the Dead Gods.
There's a bunch of different murals about regional attractions and anomalies. And yeah, there is one about the Valley of the Dead Gods and its tendency to flood during certain months of the year and how that creates ecosystems for different animals and blah, blah, the kind of stuff you see in a national park.
So yeah, I'd love to read the plaque with Banton, and as also like kind of while I'm reading it, I'll mention to him like, I noticed some of these things over here is specifically in that I don't get out much. I don't know if you could tell, but that Valley of the Dead Gods has always piqued my interest for quite some time. The few times that I have traveled out, I met some people called Delvers that they told me specific stories about Valley of the Dead Gods, and I just am very fascinated with some of the. Would the word clank be like that's what it's called in the world? Okay, with clank titans, it's just always, I don't know, it's very much piqued my interest as I'm reading that and just sharing that little nugget of information with him, trying to read about anything relating to dead gods or Valley of the Dead Gods and clank titans.
Yeah, there is a one of the plaques talks about delvers. It talks about the profession and how important it is, for the advancement of science and powering lots of technologies across the world, and also how dangerous it is. And in the history, there's a few famous delvers who invented techniques to make it safer, and they're highlighted with sketches of them next to it. But in terms of specific information about the Valley of the Dead Gods, it's a little vague.
We are kind of heading in that direction. That could be maybe we go after Sanguine Sands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm on my journey until I find the right spot to lay this down. So,
do you want to ask the nice lady a question? I'm going to go scoff at everything they got wrong at the Eppendale exhibit.
Sure. Yeah. Will you stay within eyeshot? Okay.
I will stay between close and far.
And there's like a weird, like this Belfry's like a lot. He's old. Like you can tell, like he's a Galapa. He naturally looks old, but he's also like just pretty old in general. But there's like a hint in his eye almost about like just kind of being scared of like not having a person with him. Like almost childlike. He's like, all right. No, it's fine. As he'll walk towards the tour guide or whoever you were mentioning.
Yeah, there's a very prim woman with perfect posture standing near the display. She gives you a bright smile as you walk toward her.
And I've got eyes on him like a proud parent. He's doing it.
Hi. I don't know. I mean, I just kind of assumed that you were in charge of the place, or at least curating it or something like that.
I suppose you could say I'm a curator. Yes, I am not in charge, but I work the information desk. Do you have information? Do you have questions?
So you're the keeper of lore and knowledge of this place.
I suppose so. Do you have questions about Qantas himself, or about the town, or about the region?
I'd love to hear more about what Qantas is, but also specifically about, I'm just kind of like mentioning, like kind of again towards the Valley of the Dead Gods stuff, but also just around us. I'm just highly fascinated with the Titans and all the pieces they've left behind. I'm very curious to like how old this place is. Is there anything that is, I guess, arcane in nature about it, or something mystical like that? And how does it relate to the Valley of the Dead Gods, if it does at all, or if there are two separate instances?
Well, this piece of armor is unique because it is so far from the rest of them. Most of the leftover Titan armor and parts are in the valley itself. This one being so far north is unusual. There are, of course, other pieces scattered throughout the world, but most of the armor is down there in the valley of the gods itself. But over here, if you follow me real quick, if you look over here at this section of the wall, she puts her hand on the wall and she presses up against the wall, and after a few seconds, the heat from her hand, you can see kind of radiating out, and then you see like white veins. Just for a split second, you see millions of white veins going all throughout the armor of the wall, and then as the heat from her hand fades, it kind of cools back. She says, "You see, the magic is all around us, but it's hard to extract. This is a problem."
Does that, what just happened, does that remind me of like Sylvain, or is that something different?
No, that is Sylvain.
Okay.
She was showing you exactly that it throughout everything in this space.
Gotcha. And I'm just like, it just reminds me of home. And I like, without instinctually even asking to do it, I try to also touch it, even if it's not necessarily like proper etiquette, to see, because it reminds me of a piece of home. So it's just like, I'm just kind of raptured by that moment.
All right. Belfry, tell us what happens when you touch the wall.
Tell you what happens?
Yeah.
Well, personally, he just gets kind of a flashback of home, of this large, overpowering tree in the center of his grove with all these people around, sharing from the community pot of food, just kind of like swapping stories, doing light homemade music, band productions, and just having tending little gardens, little plots. And this tree, luscious tree, has that same kind of like silver veins that flow through it all the way to the top, down to the roots, out to the branches, and even in parts of the leaves. And he's sitting next to what looks like this older simian with this large, overly large gnarled staff, the one that Belfry currently has on his back, talking with him, and just kind of like, it looks like they're just joking around about stuff. And currently, this simian that's next to him is also holding what looks like to be this large seed that also has like Sylvain in it. They just kind of commiserate, and as he's touching it in real time, the wall, I would say that it shoots out, but it's like in the shape of like the veins, if it's possible, in the shape of like a tree.
So the tour guide, she smiles at you and she says, now you understand, eh?
Yeah, I hope to learn more.
Are you interested in communing? Are you here to learn?
All the time, every day.
You would maybe do well to go speak with Jillian. Jillian? She is a sort of a resident egghead, I guess you would say.
Okay.
She likes to study the Sylvain. She studied the water, the Fiend's Tail. She studied the soil. You might want to go speak with her.
That's literally exactly what I wanted to know about. As I'll look back. I kind of got lost in the sauce. I look back to see if Vonton's there, and then just like a knowing nod. I take out a croissant. I'm just like, thank you for the tip.
I love croissant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I will save this for later, but I don't think I'm supposed to eat on my shift. But thank you very much. It's very kind of you.
And then I start walking away with Bonton, and I was like, that was easy. That was very lucrative conversation I had.
Yeah,
I guess
you did very well. And I turn around and said, where might we find this Julian?
She says, Jillian is Qantas's assistant, so you can usually find her at Q's Academy. If she is not teaching, you will find her probably upstairs in Qantas's workshop. You can go into Q's, but you must knock upstairs. Qantas does not like interruptions. If she's not there, you might actually find her at the river sometimes.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Have a wonderful day, and may your roads be easy.
Yeah, you're right. It probably makes sense to directly ask where the objective is. I was just going to let fate decide for us, but your way's probably better.
No, you did great. You did great. You didn't have to give her the croissant. I was saving that, but that's okay.
And yeah, as we walk away, I would say that Belfry looks at Banton, and he's got like a little bit of like a look of like melancholy and nostalgia almost. His face isn't super expressive because half of it's stone and the other half is turtle eyes. But from what you can tell, something that he just got reminded of in the moment, kind of like is flowing through him as he's walking away with you.
So as Belfry and Banton leave City Hall to go to their next place, Damien, you're coming out of Stone Barkeep and you see your friends. What do you all do?
Damon just has a odd smile on his face as he catches just the tail end of their interaction, as watching this like monkey teach this turtle about human civilization. Just, I don't know why, but I find it fascinating.
And you all find yourselves right here north of the Central Market. So Q's Academy is right there. Millie's General is right there. Where would you like to go?
Well, I see them in the distance and I just follow. I catch up. I'm assuming if you guys are headed to Q's.
Uh-oh.
Maybe we should do Millie's first because we lost our turtle friend.
Oh, there you
Sorry. I was starting to like lag out for a second there. I had to refresh. Oh yeah, Millie's sounds good. And honestly, I'm just following y'all lead. If out in the wilds, like, well, honestly, Banton, you're probably also better out in the wilds too. If we're ever find ourselves in a grove, I'll take lead. How about that?
I'm your grove guy.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty good at tree stuff too, but sure.
You take high, I'll take low.
Now we're talking. So this,
Damien takes people.
This is one of those store things. So don't take stuff without the money part.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Damien, hats cost money.
yes, they
I'm just
do.
letting you know that for your information,
Well,
just in case. Yeah.
Thank you, my turtle friend. Yes.
No problem. Don't worry, you don't have to give me a croissant for that information. No one's on the house.
It's little moments like that, little points of laughter is the whole reason I hang out with these two creatures.
So if we're going into Millie's General, as you open the front door, you hear a ring-a-ding-ding from the bell, and the three of you look inside to see first a general store. First you see shelves, and then your vision expands beyond to see the walls, and you see miles and miles of kitsch. It's like you've walked into, does anybody remember Bennigan's, the restaurant? Where there's crap all over the walls? Just like wall-to-wall curios. There's just stuff everywhere. But as you walk in here, and it's all Marsul themed. You see like coral. You see lots of pastel colors. Fake starfish glued to the wall. Damien, what other kind of Marsul kitsch would they find in the walls here?
Oh, of course, there's probably some interesting lamps or other, decor that's made from old wine bottles. I'm sure there's also various like crown motif, like good luck charms or tchotchkes or like things that you might hang on the wall to inspire good luck at your home. Jesters and crown looking characters. Your typical noble court characters, but like kind of this cartoonish, almost garish flair to everything.
And a full rack of Marsul is for lovers t-shirts.
Well, I mean, that's true.
As you enter, you see up at the front behind the counter, you see an older woman bent over, with the little glasses on the end of her nose and the chains, the whole thing. And she is loading items into the cart of a much younger woman who looks maybe 22, 25, kind of crazy hair with pencil stuck through it, a bun that's just barely hanging on for dear life. This younger woman, she's wearing a kind of a smart suit, but you could tell she's probably worn it for she doesn't have a whole lot of smart business suits. She's probably worn this one a lot. And she's got a handful of what looks like maybe spices or some kinds of powders, and the woman is loading more and more, and she's kind of stacking them all up.
This woman looks like she has her hands full, the young woman.
Yes.
I walk over. I don't make eye contact with the young woman. I'm focused on the older woman. And I say, Miss Millie, I presume?
The older woman looks at you and she says, yeah, I'm Millie.
And while I'm talking to Millie, I'm just like casually helping the young woman like organize all this stuff in her hands, trying to like kind of stacking the like things together, kind of Tetris style, to make sure everything's easy for her to hold.
Yes.
So my hands are busy doing that, but my eyes are focused on Millie and talking to Millie.
Gotcha. Well, as you first try to touch her, she kind of pulls away for a second, and then she realizes that you're helping. And the young woman says, "Wow, thank you so much. That's very kind of you." And then she sets it all down on the counter to organize it better. She's like, "You're very kind."
Oh, you're welcome.
And then Millie looks at the young woman and says, "All right, Jillian, will there be anything else?" And Jillian says, "No, I need to get back to Q's. Thank you so much, Millie. You're a lifesaver. We ran out of all the gunpowder just when things were getting good. But I appreciate you." And she starts to gather up her stuff.
On the other side of the store, holding up a tiny baby with a crown. And I put this one in bread. I don't understand. And then, like, my ear perks up when I hear Jillian's name.
Yeah,
and I go,
she's starting to make her way out.
As she starts to leave, I look back at her and say, "Well, gunpowder sounds like mighty fun."
Well, yes, it is. It can be. I mean, of course, we maintain every safety precaution up in the laboratory. How do you do? My name is Jillian Hommel. I'm Qantas Braille's assistant. I don't believe I've made your acquaintance.
Well, I'm new in town. My name's Damon. It's nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. And are these two people lurking over there at the other side of the store? Are they with you?
Oh, they are my traveling companions. Yes, they're
Straw Hat eating a croissant, just blank staring around.
There's a turtle eating a croissant and a straw hat over there. He's with you?
Oh,
sniffing the tiny baby.
There's a monkey sniffing a plastic tchotchke over there. They're with you, right?
Oh, yes, yeah. They're a mite entertaining, don't you think?
Indeed, they are. All right. Well, it's nice to make your acquaintance, but I do need to get back to work now. So,
well, I believe my turtle friend had some questions about your magic innovations.
Jillian looks at you, Belfry. Well, sure. Do you want to? Yeah. What can I do for you?
Oh, I don't know if it'd be here. I'm looking for someone named Jillian.
Well, I believe that's me.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. I was told that you're the town's egghead.
Well, that's, yes. Yeah.
And just to make sure, that has no relations with chickens.
Well, now that you mention it, I'm not quite sure the etymology of that phrase. I imagine it must have something to do with chickens.
Well, Belfry, don't turtles lay eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're one of the same ilk, me and you.
Yeah, this is fascinating. Is this what you wanted to talk to me about?
No, sorry. Very specifically, I'm sorry. I just have a curious, wandering mind. This is all extra for me, and I'm loving it every moment. I guess I was more so told that you know more like about the soil and maybe even about the water sources around here. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out. See, I'm a conservationist and naturalist.
Fantastic.
And I'm just trying to leave places better than when I found them. So I'd love to ask you a little bit about what you think makes this place different. Maybe you've noticed, plants that grow here that don't grow elsewhere, or maybe the water has a sweeter taste, or it's more hydrating or something that's different, just so I can grasp my head around if there's anything unusual about this place.
Well, if you'd like to come with me up into the workshop, we've got lots of samples, and I've been running tests and collecting data. I have soil samples, I have water samples.
If I had a mission, you would be giving me that mission right now. That's amazing. That's exactly what I need. I'm all for the free and fair trade of information. Yeah, I'd be happy to. He's like, who's starting to grab another croissant. He puts it away. Yeah, absolutely.
So do you follow her out?
I look at Bantan and I'm just like, are you coming with?
I am purchasing a bunch of beaded necklaces.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Be right there.
Yeah, he walks with her.
So as Belfry and Bonton leave, Damien, I don't know if you're going to start to turn to go with them or not, but Millie says, wait just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Your accent.
You're right.
Marsul.
Yes, ma'am.
There's something familiar. It's your cheekbones, I think. Would you tell me your family name?
Oh, Vidrine, ma'am. Vidrine.
Very interesting. I know of the Vidrines. You're one of the 13 families.
Why, yes, we are. I'm surprised to meet someone who knows so much about such things.
What are you doing all the way up here?
Well, might have some business opportunities a little ways from here, but also I was interested to see the shrines, the sun and the moon shrine that you have here in your little hamlet.
They're fantastic. Yeah, they're fantastic. And as she's talking to you, you see she kind of casually, in her pocket, pulls out a card and slides what looks kind of like a business card across the table to you, and just kind of leaves her hand there till like she's waiting for you to figure out a way to take it.
I'll take it.
And then she leans in and she says, "Come to us if you need help. The blades can help you. Don't trust the witches around here. Don't trust them."
Appreciate the word of warning.
As you... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm aware that there's a coven here, but I don't know much else other than that. Our coven doesn't much keep in touch with the one up here.
Things are dire. Be careful. You look down at that card and you see that at first glance it appears to be completely blank. And then, but like you tilt it a little bit and it catches the light just right, and you see the Braille Ladies Detective Society written in almost imperceptible ink.
Interesting.
And then she says, "Easy roads, friend. Enjoy the shrine."
Oh, well, thank you. Easy roads to you. Is that the proper way to say that? Or, I mean, I'm the traveler. You're the local. Is it supposed to be like easy roads and, fat tables or something like that?
It's some old saying. I don't know. I first heard it here too. You're right. I don't think I ever heard it in Marsul.
I didn't know if there was some, additional aspect to the whole greeting or farewell. Okay, easy roads then.
It's fine. Anyways, fine.
You don't happen to have any, tools of the craft here in your shop, do you?
Oh, no, I'm not a member of your number. I'm just an ally.
Oh, I figured most of what I saw back there in the the black magic corner is pretty touristy, kind of trinkets.
Don't buy any of that. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I didn't detect any sort of aura or arcana about, but I thought I might ask.
Don't trouble yourself with that, but keep your head down and come see us if you need help.
Well, thanks for your offer.
The blades are around.
Blades.
No, just kidding. Disappears in a puff of smoke.
Smoke bomb. Yeah, exactly. You have to audibly say smoke bomb when you use it.
It doesn't count if you don't say it. All right. So you make your way back out in time to see Belfry and Bonton wandering into Q's Academy. And as you walk into Q's Academy, it appears to be basically like a martial arts training dojo. You see on the left, you see like a gymnasium, and you hear shoes squeaking around on a court in there. They're playing some kind of sport. And then you have open areas with, lots of pads and like 10 to 16-year-olds going, Kya, Kya, a lot of that. And then Jillian just points up at the stairs. She says, "I'll workshop's up on the second floor.
Yeah.
If y'all want to follow me."
Absolutely. You can lead the way for sure.
So she takes you upstairs, and as you start to go upstairs, you see near the martial arts area, there's a young man, early 20s probably, with long blonde hair, pointy jaw, stony look, real Spicoli type. But he sees the three of you and kind of perks up, like he was just kind of hanging out there watching the martial arts. He perks up as you come by, kind of sizing the three of you up.
Hi, are you the I'm already forgetting. I wrote it down. This is why I write notes, because my mind just goes a mile a minute.
Don't ask me, he's Qantas.
Qantas. Yes.
No, I was gonna. Montan's gonna look at this guy's shoes.
At his shoes. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. He's wearing hiking boots.
He's wearing hiking boots. I turned to Belfry. That's not the mayor.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
Hi, I am Belfry. This is my partner in adventuring, Banton.
Your adventures? No way.
We've gone at least, what would you say, at least like 30-ish miles or so?
Whoa.
How far is Ebendale from here?
We've been adventuring pretty hard.
Ebendale is weeks from here.
Oh, never mind. I can't tell time or distance. Yeah, we've been around.
The guy says, "Whoa, your adventures. My name's Chanlin. Jillian, I don't know what you're doing with them, but do you mind if I talk to them for a minute? Like, I can wait till you're done, but like Jillian's like, I mean, I ain't their keeper. You gotta ask them." Shannon's like, just go do your thing, and then if I could bend your ear for a minute after that, I'd appreciate it.
I will talk to you, but don't touch my ears.
Oh, understood. Yeah, boundaries. Yeah, that's cool.
Seeing how like respectful of the quote adventurers this person is, I try to like stand and carry myself then like Banton as close as I can. Like instead of my like kind of more upright kind of, curved stature, I assume Banton's kind of more laid back, but also like in a quick like way could move from side to side, very agile stances. So yeah, I try to hold myself like him to look very similar stature wise. And I mentioned to this person, mainly I'm a conservationist and I don't want to say scientist, but definitely a naturalist of sorts. I'm just trying to figure out, going around the world and trying to figure out what makes certain places more fertile to grow things or better water sources. I eventually, want to just make this world better.
Jillian says, "Well, yeah, my research is right up here. I'm gonna go up there and start to work. I'll point you toward it, then you guys can, do whatever you want. I can't sit here in this conversation anymore. I absolutely have to get back to work."
Oh,
so Jillian unlocks the unlocks the workshop and goes inside. You see it looks like inventor workshop, shelves, crap everywhere, bubbling things going whoosh, whoosh, making noise. What do you all do?
I look at Banton and I'm like, is it better to just try to keep on asking questions? I don't know how to use any of this. I thought they were going to show me like a little oasis and a little, garden or something. I didn't realize there was all this muck.
So much muck. Let's follow the lady with the gunpowder.
Okay. Wait, gunpowder.
All right, so you enter into the laboratory, and then she's in the middle of weighing and measuring some stuff, but she puts up her hands and walks over to a station where you see a bunch of beakers and vials, some filled with sand, some with dirt, some with little bits of rocks, some greenish water, some bluish, some brownish water, and she starts pointing to different labels. This sample is from the Fiend's Tail in the spring, this sample's from Fiend's Tail in the autumn, this is dirt after a rainstorm, blah, blah. She's got all these different samples, and she's like, I don't know 100% what to make with them. I was kind of hoping, applying for some grants from the collective in Kila to try to get more help out here to study this stuff. I'll just mostly collect it. I don't have a whole lot of conclusions yet. You're welcome to take a look at anything I've got, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah.
I start sniffing vials.
Do you want to, anyone can make a knowledge check to try to, I would say knowledge, or you could do instinct if you're trying to just get a sense of that, or knowledge if you want to try to analyze the data that Jillian has.
Yeah. Analyzing the data might be a little tough. I mean, I would read over like footnotes and stuff like that and what they found. But I personally would more so I would base off of my own wisdom, my own knowledge of what I've experienced in the past and compared to places that we've gone through, and comparing it to where the grove was at, and how it differs, both soil and water source, and if there's any trace like sylvain in the soil or water of any kind. Okay. And if I can feel or taste any of the kind of like arcana sickness or poison in the water, even if there's a little trace of it. So I'd love to use, I was still kind of confused about the experiences. So one of them I put Warden of the Wilds, and the other one I put Discerning Eye. I don't know if this would be good for a Discerning Eye to like compare what I've done in the past.
If you feel like an experience applies, you can use it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use Discerning Eye, and I'll literally like, he's sniffing it. I'll even like take a little sip or like a little dip of the dirt in my mouth.
So Bonton, since Belfry is the one doing the analyzing, you can spend a hope to give him advantage if you want.
And it costs a hope to use experience, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You don't have to, Bonton, but you're already helping him, so you could spend the hope to.
I will gladly do, because I was gonna do my experience sniff test. So,
or you can go separately if you want. If you don't want to give him advantage, you could roll separately. But remember, every time you roll, there's a chance you're going to give me fear.
I am literally just a helper here, so yeah, okay. I think help is the move.
Okay.
So you're gonna make what's your knowledge score?
My knowledge score is 0.
Okay, so then you're just rolling your duality dice plus a d6.
Okay. Plus my experience, or?
Right.
Okay.
So you're going to add a +2 for your experience.
Cool. Okay, so that's a 17 with fear.
All right, I am going to spend that fear right away and say that Belfry, as you start sniffing and looking around, that there's something about this that irritates your nostrils, and you take a stress.
Okay.
Don't do that.
And I have arcane sense that allows me to sense the presence of magical people and objects. Uh-huh. Do I detect any magic in all of these samples?
Yes. Let me finish resolving Belfry's roll real quick.
Oh, sorry.
So it's okay. So with a 17 with fear, as you're starting to look through the samples, surprisingly get a lot of information from them. the water samples, the river samples especially, you could tell that there are traces of the poison even this far, close to the center of the continent where it should be virtually non-existent. There are traces of the poison in the water. But you get the feeling that this land has been healed before. Maybe not fully healed, but before something has happened to make it better.
So it's almost like there's a scar. Like there's something that used to be there and there's like a evidence of it, but it's been healed and then it's slowly kind of like going back a little bit.
And it gives you the idea that even if you don't know how to cure the sea poison, that this land could be made better for the people who live here.
Okay.
And that touches on some of the verdant embrace ideals.
Yeah.
So Belfry, are you sharing that with us?
Yeah, as best as I could, and not make it, super preachy sounding. But I would let you guys know that whole situation, and I would just be like, this is kind of the first time I've experienced something like this. That has given me a little bit of hope, not mechanically, but.
One other thing, Belfry, before we, Damien, get back to you, is that as you're studying these samples, you notice a difference in the samples that are taken in the west of town versus east of town.
Okay.
There's a difference between them that sort of leads you to think that maybe the thing that you are looking for isn't here, but potentially downstream.
Towards west or east?
Along the Fiend's Tail. You get a feeling that
gotcha.
There's something in the Fiend's Tail that...
Gotcha.
You get that, that turtle hunch in your turtle gut.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So,
and then, Damien, sorry, you were going to say?
Oh, it's okay. I have a follow-up question to Belfry's discovery. So we get the sense that the land was poisoned by something that's the same thing that caused the sea at the coast to be poisoned, right?
Right.
And then it was healed, but there's still traces of the poison. Do we think that's because like it's a scar, like Mike was saying, like it's a residual, or is the poison creeping back in? Like it was healed, but now it's starting to get corrupted again.
I think that is maybe beyond the scope of what you can understand just from sticking your fingers into some soil samples. But these are all great questions. Gotcha. These are all great questions worth investigating.
And just to be clear, the Fiend's Tail is flowing...
It flows east to west through the river
south.
and then takes a turn south.
And that's downstream. Okay.
Yeah, the Fiend's Tail goes down and then goes down through the valley and then merges with the Sarent River. And sorry, Damien, finally, your arcane sense. What are you looking for?
Any additional information, like is the poison actually magic, or is the whatever healed the poison, was that magic? Like what is there any like magical like residue?
So in this room, your arcane sense triggers within close range. So everything in this room, it's like because you live in a world of magic and live in a world infused with Sylvain. Your arcane sense or whatever it's called, you're so used to it going a billion times a day. You've learned how to mostly turn it off, and then when you turn it back on, all of a sudden you get inundated from like Sylvain from the pocket watch of the guy outside the building, who's just barely within 30 feet. And yeah, there's magic in the dirt, there's magic in the water, there's magic in everything. And it's if you're looking for anything in particular, you could hone into it and make a roll if you like. But yeah, tons of all the samples trigger like trace elements of Sylvain's in everything, like microplastics.
We breathe in about a credit card's worth of Sylvain every day.
With my knowledge of Sylvain from my past when I was a reckless youth, because the Sylvain is what was also used to make the
drug rush.
Yeah, to make rush.
Yeah.
So with my experiences though limited with Rush, any insight I have to how this Sylvain is affecting the people who live here with such a rich deposit of it all over the place.
So you get the sense that just from walking around that the people here don't know there's anything weird. This is all normal to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal just to kind of breathe in magic all day long. It's also normal to get cancer and die when you're 55 because, these people don't really know the air and the land and everything is poisoned. It's just kind of how it's always been to them, right?
Mm-hmm. And that is that all over the continent, or do I know whether that's like kind of specific to regions that people have shorter lifespans around Sylvain?
People definitely have the shortest lifespans out at the coasts, except for places like Marsul, where the reef cleans the air and the water there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, definitely inland is the safest place to live. But surprisingly, a lot of people still live near the coasts where it's dangerous.
You can't all be as good as Marsul. We do things well down there.
We do things a little differently down here in Marsul. Is there anything else you want to try to learn from Jillian's laboratory? We might have exhausted our story in this scene.
Yeah, I've gotten everything I've needed to learn. The only thing I would do would lend a second to the surfer dude outside. I forgot his name. When we leave.
Sure. On your way back out, Chanlin is there, and he's very eagerly awaiting you. You can see he's chewing on a fingernail, and he's like, "Oh, dude, thank God you guys came back. I thought you were going to be up there forever. If you got a minute, like we could just pull around out back, and I could have a quick chat with you. Like, I'd be super appreciative."
I just kind of mumble and look at Banton and Damien. Damien, you're the person.
To a second location.
Yeah, my first instinct is to not trust this guy.
Okay.
Let's see. What is my...
Actually, that's a good point of questioning is because I've experienced it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Does this person look specifically at me like they're interested in our group, or like just a general vibe of like...
He's looking at you a little funny, but also you're the only turtle robot that you've seen in Braille.
Sure.
Or maybe that's not so unusual.
Yeah.
But not like he doesn't give you a weird eye or anything.
Okay.
Doesn't make you feel
cool.
icky.
Yeah.
So one of my experiences is skulking the back streets.
Okay.
From my my youth.
Okay.
So I imagine I'm not only good at kind of sneaking around, but I'm also used to dealing with kind of shady people.
Okay. You want to try to size him up?
Yeah.
I think that would be instinct.
All right.
And you could spend a hope to add your experience if you want.
Okay, so I will add my experience, and my instinct is a +2 as well. So I did a total of +4 on this roll.
That is a 15 with hope.
It's our first hope roll.
So
it had to happen.
Time.
So don't forget to give yourself that hope, Brad, because we're not used to doing that. So make sure you give yourself that extra hope. And this guy, he just seems nervous. He's definitely anxious about something, but you don't catch any ill will from him.
Okay.
You don't get the sense that you're going to walk out there and somebody's going to run up behind you to mug you while he's talking to you, like a two-person city job.
Yeah, that was kind of my gut instinct when he was, he got all lit up about us being adventurers. Like, he thinks we got deep pockets or something.
He seems all right. And he's like, can we I don't want to talk in front of the kids. That's cool. Can we go outside?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So he goes outside. Everyone's following, I'm assuming.
I like outside.
And so he leans up against the building and he wipes some sweat off his brow and he's like, all right, okay, man, I don't even know where to start. Like, here's the thing. My name is Chanlin. Hi, child. Hey. So I work at Braille Adventure Tours, which, by the way, if you guys want to do any like extreme sports while you're in town, I'm your guy. But that's not. I don't know. I shouldn't have said. I don't know. I shouldn't be selling you. Here's the thing. I work at Braille Adventure Tours, but I also manage the Keela Kids Adventure Experience. You know, the summer camp, and summer camp's starting next week. And next week, you know, the kids are going to be arriving after the lumberjack competition. It's the last one this week, and then the kids arrive next week. And it's part of my responsibility to make sure that the camp is safe when the kids arrive. When the kids get here, there'll be KNSC security forces assigned to the camp to make sure it's all safe. But during the off season, it's my responsibility to make sure it's safe. Well, a couple days ago, I was down there and on the camp checking things out, and I heard some really weird sounds around the lake.
Like sounds of like animals or disturbance or something like that.
Creatures. And then I went back yesterday and during the day, and there were signs that they had been there, and it wasn't like a bear. This was like smart creatures. Like a lock on one of the cabins had been jimmied open. Not like broken like a bear would, but like you could tell there'd been a blade. So I don't know what's going on, but here's the thing. I can't go talk to Glinta. I mean, the sheriff. I can't go talk to the sheriff. I can't go talk to Qantas, because if they find out that I let it get in this state, then they're gonna bring down a bunch of KNSC investigators, and they're gonna postpone the camp while there's an investigation. It's gonna take them 6 weeks. And then the camp will be over by then, and the kids got nothing to do all summer. So if you guys said you were adventurers, you must be good at handling, you know, unwanted invaders. And I just want to keep the kids safe and make sure that we can have a camp. So I don't have much. There's a little bit of discretionary funds I could give you. There's also a really killer lost and found on the camp. You guys can help yourselves to that.
This lost and found.
Yeah.
That is objects that we can have for no currency exchange.
Well, right. The deal would be sort of you guys go down there with me at like say sunset. You know, walk around and look at the cabins, and if there are monsters there that we have to deal with, by we I mostly mean you, then after that's done, as sort of payment, I'd give you what little I can from, you know, the camp funds, and you guys could raid the lost and found.
Well, I'm currently out of funds myself, so this seems like a perfect opportunity to give Banton more funds, but also as he's like slowly agreeing to this, and like I don't know if they're walking and talking or anything like that, but he's just like, so how many hats are we talking are in this lost and found here? I've become very enamored with this type of fashion because it's one of the few that actually fits my body.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard for you to wear a peacoat with that shell of yours on. Yeah. So like a hat is something you can actually decorate yourself with. I understand.
Oh, that's why you call me Shelly. I understand now.
Oh,
in our connections, that was your nickname you gave me.
Yeah. Well, you know.
If you like hats, man, I got a few. You might look good in a Kangol. Have you ever tried one of those?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, wow. Dude, after this, like tomorrow, you can stop by. Like before
absolutely.
I go to work. Yeah.
Banton Demian, are we helping this person? I want to help this person. I say it very like, like he can hear it. Like I'm not trying to whisper this.
Yeah. Well, I imagine kind of behind this conversation, you know, Damon kind of has like kind of stepped back a little bit, kind of, you know, and his body is like his body kind of tweaks a little bit, and like chills run down his
twerks a little bit.
Like tweaks a little bit, and like the chill runs down his spine as like his magic kind of like, you know, has a tendency to kind of build up. So he needs to, like, you know, let loose. He needs to blow off some arcane energy, kind of this welling up inside of him. So he's like, yeah, if there's a monster I can blast, that would be really nice right about now, because
I knew you guys were the ones to come to. That's so awesome. And then Chandler starts listing hats. He's like, I mean, I got trucker caps, I got dad hats, I got bowlers, I got fedoras, I got straw hats. Some of these are just a book of hats. Some of these I have the actual hats, but I do have a book that's got like all the hats.
Belfry just takes in a deep breath. Yeah, I'm going to help you.
It really seems like Tyrmain himself brought us together. This is so righteous.
Mm-hmm.
You guys came along at exactly the right time.
Very righteous indeed, friend.
Yeah. Well,
Anything to stop KKE from getting involved, we'll take care of your raccoon problem.
Not a fan of the kidneys, are you? I understand.
we'll help you cover your ass.
Cool. So, like it's a few hours to sundown. If you could just meet me sort of like at the south entrance of the camp, you know, you just go. There's a trail out of town, and it's like 15-minute walk over to the campgrounds. I'll meet you there at sundown. That cool?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. You have no idea how much you're saving my ass.
Language. As I turn away.
You're right. I'm so sorry. It's off season. I'm not used to being around the kids, you know. And then so Chandler goes his own way unless you have anything else for him.
No. So how much time do we got? I missed the trick there.
How much do you want? You tell me. Do you want to fast forward to? We can fast forward to sundown, or if there's anything else you want to do in between now and then. The town is your oyster.
As the group, we've uncovered, it seems like kind of 3 jobs, right? So we've got the kind of healing the land, right? We've got, you know, something's up with witches in town. And now we've got the one we're about to do, the monsters on the playground or whatever this is. Is that right, or did I miss something? As far as
I think heal the land might be a large arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am open to Damien going or joining Damien going up to the shrines if you wanted to check out your stuff, or yeah, we could fast forward to sniping some raccoons.
I'm definitely down to see the shrines. Like, it's not like a direct interest of Belfry's, but he's interested just because of our connection, mine and or Damien. I was thinking of your last name. Damien's connection specifically with us talking about our arcane magic, because we share that domain. Right. So some things that you're interested in, I'm like, maybe this is important for me to know more about as well. So I'm definitely in if you want to go there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Each of you shares one domain. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why you're all attracted to each other.
Yeah, I share Sage with Banton and then Arcana with Damien, which is like unintentionally, but it's just kind of cool.
And then we both share
Bone? Do you have Bone?
No, I have
Sorcerer.
No, I have Midnight.
Midnight and Arcana. Midnight is shared with Rogue. So Shrine?
Shrine. So Ryan thinks that Belfry might like the wishing tree, but does Bantan think that? Is that a reasonable?
Well, it's on the way to the shrine.
Yeah. I think is Bantan into the wishing tree, or is it just like a tourist attraction?
It's pretty important to the locals. You know, as you walk up past that way, you see the wishing tree, and it's an enormous tree, and it's covered in what look like Mardi Gras beads from the branches.
It's my favorite thing in town. I take some of the beads and toss them at the tree.
Yeah, if you've been, the Wishing Tree Festival actually just recently wrapped up, which is why there are so many beads on the tree right now. It's a pretty special thing that happens in town. They make a real big deal out of it, like for weeks and weeks leading up to it. And then the whole town's kind of hung over for days and days. You go through, there's actually a town gate, so the shrines are actually in an area outside of the town. So you pass out of the town gate, and then there's this fenced-in area where you see there's a graveyard with a couple of dozen tombstones, some fancy actual made out of stone, some simple wooden grave markers, and then you see 2 shrines. In large cities, there might be a 3rd shrine for Tilt, In really, really teeny tiny places, there might just be one communal shrine, but in Braille, there are 2 shrines. Sun and Moon.
So I'm interested in going to the Moon Shrine first.
As you, Damien, as you enter the Moon Shrine, the front door is open. It's and then there's just a few rows of pews, and there are some carvings on the walls depicting some traditional lore of Adonabel acted out, in relief on the walls. And then there's a statue in the center, and you'd heard that these statues were interesting. And it's clearly Adonabel. This is clearly a moon shrine. There, it's very romantic style, curvy lines, lots of muted but romantic colors. But then the shrine of Adonabel herself actually has horns, and she has what looks like bones on her shoulders sticking up. And
like
you've never
protrusions, like spikes almost.
Yeah, you've never seen Adonabel depicted in this way before. And as you stand there, you hear footsteps behind you. Quite an interesting depiction, isn't it? I bet you've never seen one like this before. You've never seen the moon god this way.
I haven't. No, I haven't seen the moon goddess depicted in such a, how do I say, diabolical, fiendish almost.
Some people consider it blasphemous. How does it make you feel?
Oh, I don't get offended by much, but it's interesting.
See, it's an orcish representation of Adonabel.
Interesting.
Apparently Qantas Braille, the town founder, was down deep in the south, found some kind of statue maker deep in the Valley of the Gods, bought them there and had them brought back. People come from far and wide. Some people come just to see the statues and throw a tomato or two at this blasphemous orcish representation.
Yeah.
I'm glad you don't see you've brought any tomatoes with you, so that makes me happy. I don't want to clean up the statue today.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be so crass. No, some folks will go to great lengths just so they can wring their hands about something.
Indeed, they will.
Yeah, it's almost like we need a place to put all those people. Maybe call it like the internet or something like that.
Oh, you have a very interesting accent. Could I ask you where you're from, son?
I'm from Marsul.
I see.
The coast, the reef, yeah.
I thought I smelled it on you.
Oh, I like to think I smell quite pleasant.
You're from the coven.
Oh, you mean, yes, I see what you're saying now.
What I smell on you is dead sea creatures. I know what you people do down there. I don't think you know what you're messing with.
How
People
so?
are tinkering in things far beyond their understanding.
And so what would be your concern about using a sea creature's energies to enhance or, tame certain types of magic?
I'm not here to fight with you about magic. I don't want to make an enemy of you, young man. You're kind to make me nervous. I'll just be honest.
Well, does it seem to be your experience that witches offend you? Is that... I've heard there's witches about. I'm not familiar with the local coven here.
I don't know anything about witches in Braille. But I do know that those creatures that come out of the sea have nothing but evil and malice in them.
Well, I heed your warning, my friend.
All right, then.
And great statue you have here. I'm intrigued to now learn more about orcish perspectives on the gods.
if you're able to catch a minute with Qantas, you could ask him. I don't know much other than statues are unusual, and on a regular basis I come in here to clean tomato juice off of them.
So what is your affiliation with the temple in and of itself? Do you worship here? Do you serve the moon goddess? Or are you merely a janitor who cleans up tomato juice?
Oh, I see. No, my name is Sister Nouvelle. I am employed by Qantas to keep up the shrines. Personally, I follow the sun. I like to bask in the light rather than wallow in the darkness, you know?
Well, some might say that the two go hand in hand. And as I say that, I conjure like a little light, like little globule glowing in this hand, and then a swirl of shadow around my other hand, and kind of bring them together, and kind of this like yin yang kind of symbol.
You know your history. I'll tell you this, young man. You scare me, but I like you.
Oh, well, that's kind of my thing, actually.
I see. All right. Well, it's working for you then. Whatever it is, if that's what you're going for, then yeah. It's going like gangbusters.
Well, I appreciate your concerns. Have a good day. I do plan to go next door there to your son's shrine as well. I'm interested in both, as you can tell.
Well, of course. Let me know if I can answer any questions, and may your roads be easy, friend.
Oh, and easy travels to you as well.
And Sister Nouvelle kind of keeps a little bit of an eye on you.
So I kind of look around, for a few more minutes, and I'm assuming again my magic senses or my arcane senses like just pinging everywhere.
Yeah, and interestingly, a lot of magic ping below the ground in the graveyard section. And then the Sun Temple is what you'd expect. Typical Sun Temple stuff, clean lines, very rigid architecture, and with a Tyrmane statue that looks like normal Tyrmane, except he's a little orcified, maybe a little demonified.
And while I'm here, just kind of, if no one's looking, I kind of drift over to the center, the statue in the center, and I kind of just kind of slough off some of my shadow magic, kind of like getting rid of the excess energy that my body tends to produce. And
you take a magic dump.
Yeah.
He's arcana dusting.
Yeah, sure. You feel much better. And no one seems to notice. You're pretty sneaky.
Your leg lifts a little bit.
All right. Anything else? Does anybody want to do anything else before we move on to the next scene of evening time?
Now, Belfry, I know we're outside and that there are trees and bushes here, but this is sacred ground. There's graves over there. It would be absolutely inappropriate to use the bathroom here in any way.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's fertilizer, but it's not the same as just taking. Why would you suggest taking a dump in a graveyard? That doesn't make sense.
I mean, just erring on the side of caution.
Even I know that.
Of course. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Come on.
I guess, yeah, if he leads me to the wishing tree just to see what it is, yeah, I'm curious too.
Bonton, you've been here before, so you can probably explain a little bit about what happens during the Wishing Tree Festival. It's a pretty big deal that people in Ebondale would have heard about, where it's sort of a rite of passage, where children bring beads to the tree and then leave them there for years, and then when they get to reach a certain age, they go back to the tree, take the bead off, the necklace off, put on their necklace, the same one that they put on years ago. Then they go off into the forest to have like kind of a vision quest thing, a couple overnight outward bound deal for a couple nights, and then they come back bar mitzvahed, and it's a pretty big deal around here.
So this tree is quite old then?
Yes.
But there's plenty of people around, just kind of milling around the area, since it's a more centralized location.
Yeah, people are going about their jobs, doing stuff, going to the market, going in and out of queues.
I look at Banton and I'm just like, would it be rude to like strike up a conversation out of the blue, or should I ask someone first? Or
You can say hi.
okay. I go up to the tree, and out from my voice starts the sound of wind rushing through leaves, tall trees creaking in the wind. Kind of sound just comes from my voice as I start trying to talk to the tree with my nature's tongue, asking, questions like, "Oh, how long have you been here? What have you been here before this place was scarred? Do you know what healed this place?"
Belfry, as you touch the tree, please make an instinct reaction roll.
Ooh. Okay. Instinct +2.
So reaction roll is just the total.
No hope, no.
Don't matter.
10.
Okay. As soon as you touch the tree, you feel little teeny tendrils come out from the tree and go over the tops of your fingertips and sort of push in. And this doesn't alarm you because for a split second it does, but then you realize, oh, the tree is trying to talk to me. And you feel the tree begin to communicate, and it doesn't speak in words. That's crazy. It's a tree. Instead, you feel an image being pushed into your head, and you see a lake. No, not a lake. A pond. See green hills and squirrels, birds, just green hills teeming with life, trees, rivers, clear waters. You see the hilt of a sword covered in moss, and you see, again, that pond, and you see a clank. But no, not a clank exactly, because clanks are sentient. This is just an automaton, but a big one, also covered in moss. And then little tendrils retrieve and your hand comes away.
And by large, are you saying just like, 8-10 feet? Are we talking Titan?
Much bigger than you was about
Okay.
all you could get from the vision.
Okay.
Much bigger than you.
Yeah, I snap back and I kind of like gather myself a little bit. It's been a while since I've had a very deep conversation with plant life that can so eloquently give very visual descriptions instead of just like vague answers. And I look at Banton and I explain what I saw. That was its answer. Something to do with the middle of a lake or a pond and a hilt and covered in moss and an old automaton of some sorts. Large.
Does that ring any sort of bell in my travels? Have I seen something like that? Or
I mean, seen, no, but you might have heard of that automatons were sometimes, giant automaton scraps have been found in the Valley of the Dead Gods. They were somehow involved in the War of the Titans.
all right, looks like we're going downriver.
After helping summer camp with its problem and getting the hats we require, right?
That reminds me. Don't let me go past Millie's again without buying some gunpowder.
Sure. What's that for? As we're like walking and talking, like I'll have you explain what gunpowder is.
Bonton, we want to say that you bought the gunpowder earlier. You can mark
Sure.
off a handful of gold. You don't have to. We can retcon that.
A handful of gold for that?
Yeah, that's the base currency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
handful of gold.
Cool.
I'm still not in
Croissants
love with
and
Daggerheart's
seeds.
gold system, so that's going to be in flux. The economy will be in flux while I figure out how to make that work.
Insert economy and flux jokes.
Yeah, I was like,
Nope. Sorry.
they were racing through my brain. Yep.
Oh yeah. Also, as I walk away from the wishing tree, I will use my druid wild touch to just make a a flower rapidly grow of one that's like similar to one that would be at the Grove, just to like kind of like mark that someone from there has been here if there's any other pilgrims that come by.
What is your finesse score?
+1.
Okay. Yeah, so you do it and nobody really notices.
Cool.
Nobody thinks anything's weird about it. It's a nice, pretty little flower.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Good job.
Any other scenes you guys want to do before we fast forward?
I'm good.
I just have to go to the bathroom real fast. Sorry.
Okay, so...
I've been holding it for a while because I'm having fun.
Okay, I'm going to set up real quick while he's doing that.
I did want to point out that we decided to do digital dice so the audience could see, but we've not been pulling up the dice tray when people make rolls.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, that is going to end now because we're going to camp.
Camp.
So everyone, there's tokens for everybody there. I made some educated guesses based on what I thought would be fine. Chanlin that token's a little more swashbuckling than I think he actually is. I could not find a Jeff Spicoli token.
I can't believe you didn't give me the I was expecting the fast time shoes. Those like slip-ons, the black and white checkered slip-ons. Is that Spicoli, or is...
That question caught me by surprise, and I was like, well, he works in an adventure company. He's probably going to be wearing hiking boots, right?
But like it's also like that's how Bonton would figure out who the mayor is.
Look at the shoes.
Like it felt good.
So it is now evening. This map is enormous. The four of you, or the three of you, have met Chanlin. Chanlin is standing there. He's got a giant kayak oar that he's sort of holding on the ground like a staff. Giant wooden kayak oar. And he says, all right, so there's like a main loop that goes down around the water. There's some cabins around the edges. And then you've got like the calf and the main meeting room is in the center. I'll follow you guys. I don't really know what to do.
Chanlin, where was the lock that was tampered with?
Oh, that would be it was the outhouse lock, which is
oh shit.
Yeah, can you guys see where I'm pointing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in the northeast.
All right.
So go ahead and move your tokens, and anywhere you move on the map I consider as canon.
In front of me here is a statue of a man on a horse.
Yes.
And where did he say the gate was that was tampered with?
Outhouse.
That would be at the outhouse way up here. So as we're moving through.
Yeah, I just kind of move along with Chanlin, and I'm also asking him like standard. I would say more so I've learned this from Anton, and I'm very just outwardly about questions I want to ask. So I'm just like, are there any traps we have to look out for? Do you trap this place?
No, dude, it's a summer camp for kids. There's no traps here.
I figured as much, but I've made this mistake of not asking before.
No, good looking out. No, that's a legit question, but no. So you guys want to go?
Yeah, why don't you just show us where that lock was tampered with and we start there?
Okay, right. Okay, just follow me. It's back this way.
Is he so he's purposely like hushing, like he thinks there's actively something stalking around?
Well, if anybody would like to make an instinct reaction roll, you can kind of check the. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, reaction.
I'll do that. I got a +2 to instinct. So that's a 20 total with hope.
A 20 with hope. All right, so give yourself that hope. And Damien, as you start looking around, you hear definitely something nearby. To the north, for sure, by the water. But then you tune your ears, you close your eyes, focus your arcane sense, and you get a direct hit of magic to the northeast. as a creature appears. And this creature is sort of like a woodland sprite, about 3 feet tall, but with kind of woody looking, but with almost a purple crystalline tint, and a dagger in its hand, and it goes and it is going to well, it didn't get the drop on you because you made your instinct roll, but you know what, I'm gonna spend a fear.
Oh, you got plenty of them.
I got plenty of them. I'm gonna spend a fear. This guy is gonna rush in directly, well, it wouldn't be able to get to Damien, so I'm afraid it's gonna go for you, Belfry.
That's fine.
So this guy is going to rush in, and
it was at that moment that Ryan realized he was standing next to
I like to think that this whole time this thing is rushing at him, he's using, again, his nature's tongue, and he's responding with... and it's just not working.
All right, so this thing is going to rush in, and is going to try to strike you with its dagger.
Okay.
So we'll roll a d20 here. That is an 11 plus 1. Does a 12 hit your evasion?
12 hits me.
1d8 plus 5. That's a 7 plus 5. It hits you for 12 physical damage.
Ooh.
Ouch.
So that's past my minor, not quite my major. So I'm going to mark an armor to negate that.
It's in your minor?
It's in my minor, yeah.
Okay, yes. So if it's less,
or wait, sorry. It's past my minor into my major. That's what it was. My bad. So I'd still take 1.
You can take 2. You can mark 2 hit points, or you can mark 1 armor slot to only mark 1.
Yeah, I'll reduce the threshold to just taking 1.
And now,
ow.
That's all I'm gonna do. It's your turn. You've seen one of these creatures come rushing toward you, and there's definitely now rustling to the north. Sounds happening to the north.
So I'm going to say, watch out, Shelly, and I go running over there. I am going to, because I've been itching to do this, I'm going to unleash chaos.
Nice. Tell us what that does.
So I make a spellcasting roll against a target within far range, and I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 tokens, and so I guess and then it says on a success, I get to do 2d10 damage because I spent, so it's d10 per token I spend.
Okay. Yeah, make a spellcast roll. Difficulty is 13.
Oof. All right, and I'm adding for spellcasting. I add my instinct. Is that what I do for that?
Yeah. If that's your no, you're a sorcerer. Your spellcast trait is presence, I think.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. That is a like a 6 with fear, 5 with fear.
5 with hope.
So here's what happens.
Sorry guys, I lost the initiative.
So this creature, I'm going to spotlight him to come around here. Then I'm going to spend a fear to bring his buddy out as he comes around here. Then let's see this guy. You know what? I'm going to spend another fear so we can. Let's get some people out here.
Uh-oh.
This guy's going to come around here.
I'm already wanting to run.
And yeah.
Sorry, Chanlin.
Creatures are coming, but that's gosh, that's all I can do. Everybody's too far away. Okay. Then it passes back to your turn.
I do look at Chanlin, knowing that I'm in the front line at the moment. I look to Chanlin, I'm just like, you should probably back up, but also don't be alarmed about this. As I mark a stress to go into beast form, as I do, these like 8 wooden legs sprout out from my shell. As I also like slowly shift into a more arachnid form, as I take the stalking arachnid, I kind of look wolf spider-ish. Then I will attempt to attack this thing in front of me that hit me. You know?
Gotcha. So, Belfry, I'm going to change your token. I'm going to put a little green ring around the edge of it.
Okay.
Do you get bigger?
It doesn't say anything about size, so I'd say that and that's pretty terrifying enough to be a human-sized spider. So I'm just going to say just like a normal. And then, I will attempt to attack them. And it says I have, in this form, advantage on attacks. So, and then D6, and it uses my finesse, which with this gives me +1, so it's a +2. So that is a 20 with fear. Or wait, fear. Left is with hope, right? So with fear?
Yeah, that's 20 with fear.
20 with fear.
Okay.
And it's a D6 +1. D6. I'm just going to add the +1 after. So 3 damage. I have succeeded with an attack against a creature in melee range. The target becomes temporarily poisoned. A poisoned creature takes 1d10 direct damage each time they act.
Okay, so I'm going to put this purple ring around him to let us know that he's poisoned. He takes 1d10 damage every time he acts?
Every time they act, yes.
Oh, ouch. Tell us what it looks like as you poison this thing.
A part of me is like, not so much like a regurgitation, but a part of me like sinks my teeth into them, and a little bit of the coffee I had from earlier goes into their body. I'm a coffee spider.
All right, so your attack goes through, but you did roll with fear.
I did.
So it turns back over to my side. Bonton, please make an instinct reaction roll for me, please.
Sure. I got 1 on it. That is a 10 with fear.
That is okay. It's a reaction roll, so the fear doesn't matter, but the 10 does.
Okay.
So you fail the roll, and so all of a sudden, coming from behind you, you hear the sound of another one of those little forest sprite things as it runs up to you and does the ambush move. So it is going to make a melee attack against you. That is a d20 roll. That is an 8. Does that meet your evasion?
Nope.
Nice.
All right.
Heck, boy.
So he's going to stay there. Evasive as heck. All right, I'm going to spend a fear.
Also, just so you guys know, mechanically, I can't heal people without hope. I need 3 hope to heal people. So I'm not doing too well as a healer.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to spend a fear to bring these 2 guys into the fold. And they are going to attack. They're going to attack Belfry. They're going to attack the giant spider because that's pretty scary. That is a 19.
That definitely hit.
Actually, -4 for 15. Does it 15 your evasion?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's 2 of them, so they do 8 damage. So you take 8 physical damage.
Okay. So that's again in my major. I'm gonna spend another armor to bump that down to taking 1 damage. Or is that 8 damage each, or is that like just the total? Okay. Cool.
8 total. I'm going to spend 1 more fear to... this guy's going to step out of the shadows and move down to here, and then this guy is going to try to perch on the edge. Now it passes back to you guys.
It's all going to plan. He's burning up his fear, guys. Bonton is going to jump back from this dude who just popped out. He's going to hop up a little bit and hang off of a tree branch with his tail. And I'm going to longbow that sucker that just...
Okay, the one who just appeared?
I got 2 on this. That is a 12 with hope.
Oh, 12 with 12 just misses. All right, so it goes back to me. I am just going to activate this guy, and he's going to come in about over here, and then I'm going to pass it back to you guys.
There's so many enemies. What have we done?
All right,
you guys, it was scary down here.
I am going to mark a stress to get my Unleash Chaos back. And my spellcasting ability is Instinct.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh,
so
my bad.
And so since it's +2, when I spend that stress to get my Unleash Chaos back, I get 2 tokens. So I am going to spend 1 of those tokens to blast or to unleash chaos.
Okay.
Big shadowy tendrils flaring at this guy.
At which one?
The one here. All right, ignore the D20 that I clicked.
Old habits.
Yep. All right. So that's a 9 and a 3. So total of 12 plus 2 makes 14, and that's with hope.
With hope. Okay. Yeah, you hit. Roll your damage.
Is there a default damage that I'm adding this to, or is the D10s is what this ability gives me?
What does it say on the card?
On a success, roll number of D10s equals to the tokens spent and deal that much magic damage to the target.
So you got 2 tokens, so you can deal 1 D10 or 2 D10, your choice.
I'll go ahead and spend both. There we go, 15 damage.
Right, 15 damage. These 2 little guys here are minions, and you evaporate both of them.
Oh.
They get swallowed up in shadowy tendrils and drug down into the ground.
These little forest sprite creatures surrounded by black Icarus tendrils pull down into the ground. Chandler's, yeah, let's keep the kids safe. Oh, I completely forgot to tell you how Chandler works in combat. Daggerheart NPC allies don't get stat blocks. They just get abilities. So Chandler has 2 abilities. He can still die. He doesn't have a stat block, but he can still get hurt and he can still die. He has 2 abilities. Ore defense. The trigger is an ally within close range marks their last armor slot. He can go in and stick his ore in place of you marking your last armor slot, which will destroy his ore. But he can do that once. Also, he has an ability called Orish Rebuke. The trigger is if he takes damage from an attack within very close range, Chandler can make 1 reactive strike against an enemy with his ore, which he can't do if his ore is broken, obviously. But so those are the things. So the way I kind of view Chandler as he's kind of like a communal character. Like, I'm operating him, but if you guys want him to do something, just tell him what to do, right?
Would that take our personal action?
No.
Or okay.
Yeah, he's not really there to be like action economy. He's just there to buff you guys mostly. Cool. So you rolled with hope, Damien, so it's still player's turn. Who wants to go next?
I'm just going to try to shoot number 1 again. That is...
Oh, it was so close.
That's a 25 with hope.
A 25 with hope? Yeah, that definitely hits.
I would hope so.
Up.
Remember, you can mark them as a focus, too. Remember, if you mark them as a focus, you can increase your proficiency on an attack. And
so over on this side of the table, there's not a lot of coins to go around. That is 11 points of damage. I appreciate. Yeah, I'm saving my hope because it's a precious resource right now.
All right, yeah, that is major damage to number 1 down there. You rolled with hope. It's still your turn.
I'm going to. So it says in my beast form, I can still talk normally. So from the mouth of this humanoid-sized wolf spider, I look towards Chanlin and I just say, probably just get somewhere safe away from this thing. And I scurry away.
Okay.
I'll just go it's 30 feet, right?
Yeah,
for movement
about 30 feet. I'm not going to be a stickler about distances here.
As I move away from this thing, I also turn back to try to shoot web at it with my web slinger move. Yes, that's right. I'm Spider-Man.
It's even weirder as Spider Turtle.
So it says I'm a Ninja Turtle Spider-Man. Okay, I'm my kid's dream. The restrain. So I need to succeed on a finesse roll against them. Please give me a single hope this game. Nope. So that is 17 with fear.
You're restraining this one?
Yeah. The one that I previously poisoned. So it's poisoned and restrained.
Poisoned and restrained. I don't think I can add a second ring, so.
As I kind of just step away, Chanlin, from this thing so it doesn't hit you.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to take a chance. He's going to scurry out here, but he's going to stay kind of close by, though, because he's got his aura up ready to assist. You rolled with fear, so coming from the north, all of a sudden, you hear something come out of the water, and then a feeling of darkness, as if, it's just turned dusk, and the sun is just set, but it feels like it gets rapidly dark as a creature that you could only describe as a floating set of robes with a skeleton inside of them comes floating out.
Oh my god.
Toward you guys.
Level 1. Here we go.
Woohoo! All right, then I'm going to spend... I was like, I got fear from that, so we go back to 4 fear. Then I'm going to spend a fear to move these guys into closer range. Then I'm going to spend another fear so this guy will free himself of the restraints. He's still on fire. I would have to spend another fear to him to put himself out, but he's no longer restrained.
Poisoned.
And yeah, he's still poisoned unless
he's poisoned, right. Poisoned, not restrained.
Cool.
And I'm down to 3 fear, and it's back to your turn.
Well, I can mark a stress and do my chaos, unleash chaos again. Worked last time. So,
Go for it.
Let's see. So this time I'm going to channel my sun magic and just bring down a big old bright ray of energy onto these little, what are they called?
Oh, the
Goblin
minion
ones?
ones.
The
They're like
minion
little
ones.
tree. They're like little tree people. They're like little 3-foot-tall Groots.
Like twig blights in D&D.
Sure, kind of.
All right, so that is a 12 plus 2 is a
That would be
14.
14 with fear.
14 with fear. Does that hit?
Yes.
All right, so then going to roll 2d10. Do I want to do that? I'm debating if I want to boost this.
You don't need to.
All right.
You blow up both of these guys. Boom, gone. You have removed all of the minions from the battlefield. And you roll with fear, so I will take that fear.
Wait, is there a minion back here?
That's not a minion.
Oh,
The minions are not the purpley guys. No, he's definitely I'm gonna spend 2 fear so he can move and do his thing. So, Damien, as you are just blasting minions, dragging them down into whatever is below, you see this creature up at the north takes notice of you and does not like that you were blowing up his friends, and so he glides down. He actually glides right through this other one.
Oh, jeez.
And appears right in front of you and reaches out and touches your face. And now I am going to make an attack roll at you, a d20 plus 3. Does an 8 hit your evasion?
it does not.
Shit. I'm going to spend another fear. One to the thing.
Let me touch your face.
Skeleton's like, wait, don't move. Let me do it again. How about a 12?
12 does it, yes.
12 hits?
And 12 hits, yeah.
All right, so as this creature touches your face, you feel the fingers pressing into your skin, like digging in, like Vulcan mind meld, like pushing. All of a sudden, you recall a terrifying moment from your childhood. What is it?
Oh, wow. So this is definitely the first time I used shadow magic with any sort of real effect, and I lost control and just devastated the room I was in. Just raw power, and it wasn't so much the fact that this power exploded out of my body. It was the look on my mentor's face, and she was terrified that a child at my young age was able to unleash so much power. And it was then that I knew there might be something wrong with me, and that her terrified look has stuck with me my whole life.
And as that memory bubbles up to the surface, you are going to take 3d4 plus 9 for a total of 14 magic damage.
Whoa!
As this memory surfaces, you feel it getting sucked out of you.
As its hand is like sucking the life out of my face, I grab my amulet, which has 13 stars. It's a constellation of 13 stars representing the 13 families, and I shove my amulet in its face in return. And this is my rune ward.
Oh, that too.
And I get to spend a hope and reduce incoming damage by D8.
It must be nice to have hope. Oh,
So it's 13 magical damage.
I don't have a lot of hope, apparently. All right, so 13 magical damage. That's going to be nasty. All right. Well, hey, the 1 point makes a difference because 14 would have been severe.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, so 13 keeps it down into the major range. So I mark 2 hit points.
And you can
But I
also
have
do
armor.
armor if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mark 1 armor, and then I only mark 1 hit point then, right?
I did my thing, and it will turn back over to your turn. But because of the time, I'm thinking we should call it here. Next week, mid-combat with your guy's turn.
Cool.
Dibs.
How's everybody doing on hit points and stress?
I'm down 2 HP, down 2 stress out of 6 total, and I'm down to 1 hope. I still haven't gained a hope this game.
Damn.
I used 1 to give an experience roll, and I haven't gained 1 single hope.
All right. Well, I'm sitting on 4 hope, and I've got 1 hit. I've taken 1 hit point of damage, and I've taken 2 stress
Okay.
and 1 armor damage.
Oh, yeah, and 2 armor marked off as well.
And Bonton, how you doing?
I'm fine. I've gotten away scot-free so far, and I finally have 3 hope to my name.
All right, I'm going to hit the button now.